up guys? So today I'm gonna show you what I think is the best settings for ESO on consoles. This could work for PS5, PS4 and Xbox. Um, all the settings, we have a bunch of settings here in the game, so could be quite overwhelmed, especially if you are newcomers. That's why I decided to make this video. I decided to divide the video in two parts, one part settings, the other part my tips to use the settings. So let's go. So beginning with video. Video you should always run in performance because of the frame rate. In this section, the only important thing to notice that is the performance, and you can adjust the custom of your layout, how you see stuff. In my case, I like to use it quite a big, so yeah. About the audio, actually I have this NPC subtitles off, but you should put on. I'm gonna put on, and I will explain on the tips later. And the other thing that is important, here you can have all these settings about sound, about music, but the most important of all of these ones is combat music. You should have all these always, all combat music. I will explain on the tips, but it's quite important, this one. So let's continue into the gameplay. Here in the gameplay you have a bunch of settings. The majority of them are not quite important. You can choose like the template, how you can use the buttons. I prefer to use vibration, always help me to be like immersed in the game. The only thing here, you can adjust your dead zones if you have some drift. The other stuff, you can hide stuff like mount upgrades. I prefer to hide them. Here is the important stuff, combat clues, and to adjust the colors. Normally people always say to use pink. I prefer this kind of red, that it's not red, and you can see the test here, but need to be something vibrant for you to see. The other important stuff, it's consolidating loot area. This is especially like you are in an instance and you kill a bunch of mobs, you can loot from one all the loot, so this is quite cool. I don't like to use the auto loot, but if you can use it. And the other stuff's not quite important in my opinion. If you have ESO Plus, you can add auto add to craft bag. Going into camera. Going into camera. The most important thing here is you should use. Actually, you should not use screen shake, because it's much more better to play, much more smooth. And you should put the sensitivity camera near the more sensitive. I prefer to use like in this way. So continue into interface. Here the most important stuff is quest tracker and automatic quest tracker. Like when you accept the quest, you'll be automatic tracking it. This is the most important one. You can add like, for example, house tracker. I'm using it, and the rest is like name. It's not quite important, but I can show you. This one's it's important, but normally the game have it on. So weapon indicator when it's not recharge, and armor indicator. Nameplates. If you go to nameplates, it's where all the names appears and health bars over the heads of the players. For me, the only important thing here is I always like to have the names. I will explain on my tips. And it's very important not to show yourself, because you already have so much information on the screen, and I like to see forward, to see where is my enemy, where I need to attack. But it's important for me to have the health bars, to use executes, and to see my teammates if they are struggling or not. So if you go like Scrolling down, you will see like all these options. But the most important is these two that I'm speaking about. So in social is where you can see the chat filters and the colors. So here it's not quite important for gameplay, but if you are annoying, if you are in a town and a lot of people is calling you for duels or something like that, you can actually put auto decline. I never use it. Some people use it, so it's for you to decide. Kill feed is quite important. I will show you on my tips too, but you should put on. And here you have the colors that you can choose. This part is up to you. I don't care too much about this. I only change a bit like the guild's colors and stuff like that. So, and the last part of the settings is combat. Is one of the most important ones. So if you are new to the game, you will see that you don't have a bunch of stuff like health bars, health numbers, and all of that activated. So it's here where you will put everything on. So beginning, you should put everything always show. Ability bars. Actually, you should put this on too. I don't know why I don't have it. You should have always numbers and percentage. This is very important, ultimate numbers, for you to be able to see the cooldowns, to see the numbers of your spells, and all of that. Combat text, you should have all on, all the damage, incoming damage. Some people prefer to not have some part of it. I like to see all the damage I'm receiving, all the damage I'm doing. So I'm gonna scroll a bit for you to see the options. But it's about upcoming damage and heal. Some part of the pets is not quite important, but the majority of this you should put on. About the buffs and debuffs, always show all of them. It's very important to see all the timers, food, and all of that, so you should definitely use everything on. So about the settings, it's all. Now I have some tips about how to maximize the settings into a gameplay. So I will show you some of my tips. So and here is the first tip. It's about combat music. Imagine that you are here in Imperial City and someone is fighting an enemy. The combat music will start and you will know that you have some enemy around. So for example, this guy is fighting and I can hear it from the music, and now I'm much more able to kill it or something like that. For example. Next tip. The majority of the players, sometimes I see people playing like too close to your character. You can put the field of view much wider. That's my advice. If you press the D-pad down and right click down, you will see that you will come back. And this way you have clear view of all enemies behind you, front of you. It's much better. So this is my tip and advice. I was telling you guys that was quite important to have the names. For example, this way I can see the player much better, even behind walls and stuff. That's why you should have always have the nameplates of the enemies. For example, if I'm here, you can always see him. So, and my last two tips, one is quite simple. It's about the subtitles, NPC subtitles. That's quite important. For example, if you are in an instant or trial or something like that, normally the boss says something before a new attack. So this way you can know when the boss is changing the position or changing the type of attack. So that's quite important. And the last one is about swapping weapons or spells. For example, if I'm running, especially in PvP, I have to stop running to swap my weapon. So if you go to out of the game to control settings and the controller, you can choose to put the swamp on the L3, and this way you can run and swamp weapons just like this. That's all, guys. So I hope the video could help you to choose your settings, and if you can subscribe, I will be very grateful, and I see you in my next video.